Hi, I'm Mackenzie Morrison. My project today is on the process of decomposition. The process of decomposition begins when the heart stops beating, and it starts with the brain cells and ends with the skin cells. Next, I want to talk about what is death, and it can be defined in three different ways. Legally, death is described as an individual that has sustained either irreversible cessation of circulatory and respiratory functions or irreversible cessation of all functions of the entire brain, including the brainstem. Cultural and religious can be described in the Roman Catholic Church as the complete and final separation of the soul from the body, while Muslims and Christians believe as long as the heart is beating and you're still alive, and this includes with assistance such as being brain dead, your heart is still going, so you're still living. Clinically, death is described as brain dead. It's irreversible cessation of all functions of the brain in the absence of oxygenated blood. The blood cells die very fast. Next, I just want to run through the process of decomposition. We start out with fresh, which runs 0 to 2 days. Bloat starts 1 day to 3 weeks. Next is active decay, which is 5 days to 2 months. Advanced decay is next, and it's 3 weeks to 3 months. And skeletonization, or dry remains, is 2 months to 5 months. And exterior environmental factors can also contribute and play a role in the timeline of these things. So fresh, the fresh stage, livor mortis, is when the blood pools in the lowest lying areas of the body. This is because the blood has stopped flowing, which can cause the skin to look bruised. Next is rigor mortis, and this happens 3 to 6 hours after the heart stops and the body runs out of ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate, and it's the molecule that the body uses for energy. ATP is responsible for flexing muscles, so when we run out, the muscles lock into place. This is what rigor mortis is. After 2 hours, rigor begins and the eyelids and jaw stiffen. 2 to 6 hours in, rigor continues and the center of the body stiffens. After 12 hours, the body is in complete rigor and the entire body is rigid. After 15 to 36-ish hours, there is a slow loss of rigor, starting with small muscles first, and rigor is lost in the head and neck, and then lastly in the bigger leg muscles. After 36 to 48 hours, rigor disappears and the muscles become relaxed. The entire body is limp. Next stage is algor mortis, and this is when the body begins to cool down because of the lack of ATP production. The body normally cools at about 1.5 degrees per hour until it reaches the environmental temperature. This is with the assumption that the environment is below 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, and in warmer temperatures the body may not lose heat or will regulate with the surrounding temperature. It's also assumed that the body is not laying on a surface that is heated or cooled. Any of these changes can affect the rate of cooling, and because of this, it's not the most reliable source to determine the time of death. Something else that can happen during the first stage of decomposition is growth and spread of bacteria that is normally held back by the immune system, and this is caused by the increase of carbonic acid in the blood, which drops the pH level, and acidosis occurs. This is because of the lack of oxygen. The carbon dioxide in water produced in cellular respiration accumulates and react, which creates the carbonic acid. The bacteria then eats the body from the inside. There are certain types of flies that then can detect a body from miles away. The flies lay eggs in the soft tissues around the eyes, mouth, and any open wounds. And this can give a better time of death because the fly's gestational stages, and it can show if the body is several days or weeks old. The next stage is bloat. During the bloat phase, bacteria inside the body multiply and consume tissue, and their digestion produces gases. The production of methane, hydrogen sulfide, and carbon dioxide lead to the smell and swelling. The smell is mostly caused by tetramethylene diamine, putrescine, and cadaverine, and the chemicals are produced when amino acids or proteins in the body are broken down, and then the gases will continue to expand the body until it ruptures. The next phase is active decay, and in this stage the loss of mass happens very quickly. This is because the body cavities are now open to the environment, and the body may appear as if it were liquefying as the bacteria and bugs continue to digest it. Liquids from the body may temporarily kill the vegetation surrounding the body. Next is advanced decay, and at this stage of decomposition, the process slows. The insect activity is decreased, and the environmental surroundings will show signs of increased nutrients in soil. So like vegetation will start to grow back, and you'll see like a lot more green around the body. And finally, the last stage is skeletonization, or dry remains. And at this point, all of the remains are dry skin, cartilage, and bones. And the remains may dry out and bleach if exposed to nature. This is the ending of my presentation. If there are any questions, please ask.